What happened next would be discussed in military academies for the next 2 centuries, though most species would insist the combat recordings had been doctored, because surely, no single ship could do what the Indomitable did in the following 8 minutes. The Vrell opened fire first. Naturally, 17 warships unleashing enough firepower to crack a moon, all converging on one target. The Indomitable dodged. Not with shields, not with countermeasures, but with actual, physical movement that should have liquefied every human on board from the G-forces alone. How are they not dead? Maxis whispered. Inertial dampeners? I suggested weakly. No species has inertial dampeners that efficient. On screen, Vasquez was still grinning, still chewing her gum. Okay, so, fun fact about humans, she said casually. We've been fighting each other for our entire history. We got really good at it. And then we went to space and thought, hey, what if we applied all those centuries of tactical innovation against aliens who have never faced an opponent insane enough to retrofit a colony transport into a weapons platform? The Indomitable returned fire. Except it was not plasma cannons or particle beams or any conventional weapon system. The ship launched what appeared to be simple kinetic projectiles, dumb metal cylinders. At 97% light speed, the first Vrell warship did not explode so much as it ceased to exist in any meaningful sense, transformed instantly into its component atoms by the relativistic impact. Sweet merciful void, I breathed. They turned physics into a war crime, Maxis added helpfully. 2 more Vrell ships vanished in rapid succession. The remaining 14 scattered, trying to establish firing solutions on a target that moved like it was personally offended by the laws of motion. Here's the thing about honor-based warrior cultures, Vasquez continued conversationally, as if she were not currently engaged in combat against overwhelming odds. You follow rules, protocols. You have expected behaviors. Humans? We have one rule. Win. Everything else is negotiable. The Indomitable accelerated directly toward the Vrell formation. Every tactical program I had ever studied screamed that this was suicide. You did not charge into a superior force. You did not abandon defensive positioning. You did not deliberately close distance with enemy capital ships. Humans, apparently, did not read those manuals. Vasquez to Vrell Fleet Commander, she said cheerfully. I am now within your honor-bound engagement range. As per your own cultural protocols, I formally challenge your flagship to single combat. You cannot refuse without being labeled a coward by your entire species. I checked. Your rules, not mine. The largest Vrell warship broke formation, arrogance and fury radiating from every weapons port that swiveled to face the much smaller human vessel. They are insane, Maxis said. This is insane. We called insane people to save us from certain death, and now we're going to die anyway. Except with front row seats to human extinction. But I was watching the tactical display more carefully now, watching how the other 13 Vrell ships had paused, held by their cultural programming, unable to interfere in formal combat without disgracing themselves and their entire command structure. No, I said slowly. She split them. 1 ship versus 1 ship, and 13 others who cannot act without violating their most sacred codes. The Vrell flagship opened fire with everything it had. The Indomitable absorbed the first volley on shields, returned fire with conventional weapons that actually seemed to hurt the Vrell vessel, then did something I had never seen in 30 years of military service. It rammed them. At half-light speed, the Vrell flagship crumpled like paper. The Indomitable emerged from the expanding debris field with minor hull scarring, and what I suspected was the entire human crew laughing maniacally. Right, Vasquez said brightly. Honor satisfied. Now, anyone else want to dance? Or are we done here? The remaining Vrell ships jumped to faster-than-light speed so quickly they probably left scorch marks on reality itself. Silence filled the command center. The Indomitable drifted closer to the station, casual as you please, as if it had not just violated multiple conventions of warfare and possibly several laws of physics. Station Outpost Meridian, this is Vasquez. Threat neutralized. You are secure. We'll hang around for a few hours, make sure nobody else gets ideas. Also, about that payment you mentioned, we're going to need to talk. Earth just voted to expand our defense perimeter, and we could use some more friends out here. Friends who are honest about being scared of us. We appreciate that. Honesty is refreshing. I activated my microphone with shaking claws. Captain Vasquez, on behalf of the Galactic Coalition and everyone currently not dead because of your intervention, I formally thank you and request immediate diplomatic negotiations regarding a mutual defense treaty. See, now that is what I like to hear. Give me 20 minutes to file some paperwork. Oh, and Commander Vrell, next time you need help, call us first. We're scary, yes, but we're scary on your side now. That's the whole point. The transmission ended. Maxis turned to me, his scales having gone through approximately 17 colors in the last 10 minutes. We just allied ourselves with humans. Yes, the species that committed genocide against their own planet's apex predators because they ate some livestock. Yes, the species that looked at the vacuum of space and decided it needed more explosions. Also yes, are we going to survive this alliance? I looked at the debris field that had once been 17 Vrell warships, looked at the single human vessel that had accomplished what should have required an entire fleet. Probably not, I admitted. But we are definitely going to survive everything else. Maxis considered this for a long moment, then started laughing. You know what? I'll take those odds. So would I? After all, we had just learned the most important lesson in galactic politics. When you have no hope left, when every conventional option has failed, when annihilation is 4 hours away, call the humans. Just make sure you're calling them as friends, because you really do not want them as enemies. The distress beacon had been screaming into the void for 72 hours straight when Commander Vrell finally made the decision that would either save us all or doom what remained of the Galactic Coalition. You cannot be serious, Chief Engineer Maxis said, his 3 eyes blinking in rapid succession, a sure sign of absolute horror among my people. Them? The humans? Have you lost your sensory organs? I had not. Unfortunately. Do you have a better idea? I asked, gesturing toward the tactical display where 17 Vrell warships were systematically dismantling our defense grid. Because I am genuinely open to suggestions that do not involve our complete annihilation within the next 4 hours. Maxis' scales flushed a deep purple. There are protocols, procedures. We could contact the Valerian fleet, or perhaps the Sentinel Guard, or literally anyone except the species that once declared war on a star because, and I quote, it was being a jerk about solar flares. The Valorians are 6 systems away. The Sentinels surrendered yesterday. We are alone, Maxis. I pulled up the communication array, my claws hovering over the activation sequence. Alone, except for one incredibly reckless, absurdly violent, and statistically improbable species that somehow conquered their own death world through sheer stubbornness and spite. They use chemical propellants for recreation. Yes. They consume poison for fun. Also yes. Their idea of problem solving is to hit things harder until the problem stops being a problem. I activated the beacon. That is precisely why I am calling them. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the rhythmic pounding of Vrell plasma cannons against our rapidly depleting shields. Somewhere in Section 7, another bulkhead collapsed. We had maybe 300 civilians left in the station, down from our original population of 5,000. The evacuation shuttles were gone. The defense platforms were gone. Our entire fleet was little more than expanding clouds of superheated debris. Attention, humans of Earth, I said into the microphone, wondering if this message would even reach anyone, or if I was simply screaming my final words into an uncaring universe. This is Commander Vrell of Station Outpost Meridian. We are under attack by overwhelming Vrell forces. All conventional allies have fallen or fled. We have approximately 4 hours before complete structural failure. We are requesting immediate military assistance. I paused, considering my next words carefully. We can offer payment in refined tritium, territorial concessions, and our entire strategic database. We are aware of your reputation. We understand you may have questions about why we waited until now to contact you. The answer is that we were terrified of you. We still are. But right now, we are significantly more terrified of the Vrell. Please respond. Please. I cut the transmission. Well, Maxis said after a moment. That was appropriately desperate and humiliating. How long do you think before they respond? Assuming they even bother? The communication console beeped. Immediately. We both stared at it. That is, Maxis started. Impossible, I finished. Earth is 15 light hours away. Even with quantum relay compression, Response time should be a minimum of 47 minutes. The beep came again, more insistent. I answered it. The human face that appeared on screen was young, female, with an expression that could only be described as predatorily cheerful. She was chewing something. Gum, I remembered. They chewed synthetic rubber for enjoyment, because of course they did. Hey there, Commander Vrell, she said brightly. This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the Earth Defense Coalition ship Indomitable. We were actually already in your sector. Training exercise. Lucky you. Got your distress call, and wow, that was refreshingly honest. Most species try to pretend they contacted us first, you know? Anyway, we're about 8 minutes out. Sit tight. Don't do anything stupid, and for the love of all that is holy, do not surrender. 8 minutes. I repeated stupidly. You are 8 minutes away? Give or take. Traffic depending. She grinned, revealing those flat, omnivorous teeth that featured in approximately 60% of coalition nightmares. Quick question though. These Vrell, they're the big lizard guys with the excessive honor code and the whole ritual combat thing, right? Yes, but they have 17 warships and we have nothing. Honor will not matter when they simply obliterate the station from range and… Oh no. See, that's where you're wrong. Vasquez interrupted. Honor always matters, especially when you know how to weaponize it. Hang on. The screen flickered to an external view, and there it was. The Indomitable dropped out of faster-than-light travel barely 2,000 kilometers from the station, close enough that our proximity alarms had a collective panic attack. It was not the largest ship I had ever seen. It was not the most heavily armed. But there was something about the way it moved, the absolute confidence in its trajectory, that made my survival instincts start screaming. Vrell fleet. Vasquez's voice boomed across all frequencies. This is Captain Elena Vasquez. You are attacking our friends. We take that personally. You have 30 seconds to withdraw, or we demonstrate why everyone else in this galaxy is terrified of humans. Your choice. Clock's ticking. Maxis looked at me. I looked at Maxis. The Vrell fleet turned their weapons toward the single human ship. Well, I said quietly. We are about to find out if the stories are true. Vasquez smiled wider. Let's educate some lizards. So what did you think? Did this story surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this sci-fi story, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing science fiction stories every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.